Welcome to You Are Not a Goat. If you want to follow your passion and do what you love, this is the podcast for you. Without further ado, here's your host, Slimy Lyons.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of You Are Not a Goat. My name is Shlimi Zions and I'm your host. Welcome back to the show. It's been so long since we had a last episode. Almost 2 months. So much has happened. I've been traveling like crazy. Thank God, almost 3 weeks ago, my wife gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby boy. So that has been keeping me busy. And I have not had much time to do a podcast. But this is something I love doing. I've been getting lots of messages from listeners all over the world, and they've been asking, when is the next episode going to come out? So today I jumped on it and got something done. Really excited to share it with you, because this week we have a woman named Gina Lyons, and she and her husband did something outrageous, spontaneous, and super crazy. I don't want to spoil it for you, so just take a listen to Gina Lyons and be amazed. Hi Gina, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, thank God. Hope all is well by you as well.
Yes, all good here.
Okay, so I came across this crazy story on the internet where you and your partner, husband, bought a hotel. Can you just give me a little bit of background about yourself and start me off with this story?
Okay, so me and my husband got married in June 2017, and we went to Italy to get married. We had a big old wedding, 150 guests. It was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then about 6 months later, we booked our honeymoon to go to Sri Lanka and the Maldives. It was like a month-long trip, backpacking. And on our sort of second week, we went to a place called Tangal, and it was the day after New Year's Eve, so it was New Year's Day. And when we arrived, all the staff were hungover, and the place was a mess. And it was this little sort of treehouse type beach place called Reggae Zone, and it stank of weed, and all the staff were clearly still drunk from the night before, and it needed a lot of love. And we sat on the beach and we started chatting to one of the barmen called Isaru. We call him Izzy, Busy Izzy. And we were like, this place has got so much potential. This could be so good. We'd love to own a place like this. And he said, well, funny enough, in June, the lease is up. So why don't you come and meet the owners? And as we were drinking more and more rum, we just convinced ourselves this was a great idea. So later on that evening, when we were quite drunk, he arranged for us to go and meet the landowners to discuss taking on the business. Okay. They didn't speak any English. We didn't speak any Sri Lankan, so we just got more drunk. And we woke up in the morning with a signed contract going, oh, holy beep. And we had bought a hotel on the beach in Sri Lanka.
So you bought a hotel while you were drunk?
Yeah, pretty much. And so we came back to England and we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Right, okay, we're going to put this amount of money away, this amount of money. So every month, my wages went on Sri Lanka, Mark's wages went on living. And so January, February, March came and we put all the money and we sent it off to Sri Lanka. And then the next day I found out I was pregnant. And we felt like completely irresponsible parents straight away. We were like, oh no, we've sent all our money to Sri Lanka. And then when I was about 5 months pregnant, we booked a trip. The exchange had been done. It was June. Well, I think it was about 5 months pregnant. It was June, and we finally got the keys to the place. So we went there, and everything was left in a complete mess. And we spent 3 weeks whilst I was pregnant and throwing up every morning with my mum and friend James and obviously Mark, and the four of us gutted the place, painted everything, did woodwork, everything. And then we opened at the start of July. And that was 2018. So, yeah, we've been going we've been going for a while now, and it's doing well.
That's wonderful. So let me ask you this. When you were drunk and you were having these conversations, did you not think perhaps it would have been better to wait till the morning or anything like that?
Yeah, probably. But you don't when you're drunk, do you? You think, this is a great opportunity and we need to do it now. And my husband and I are like the worst people to get drunk together because we have a lot of fun and we just decide to do crazy stuff. So we felt like it was an opportunity that had to be done there and then. It didn't, in hindsight. And, it's certainly something we could have discussed over a clear head in the morning. But it happened. Right.
And when you woke up in the morning, was there this sense of regret, or were you sort of like, you only live once, that was awesome, let's do this?
A bit of both, really. There was we felt that the price probably would have been better if we were Sri Lankan. It was a big responsibility to take on. The other side of it is we'd met a couple of guys that worked out there. One of them works at Reggae Zone, which it was called.
Right.
And we felt that he would have done a really good job as the manager. So in a way, we were kind of taking on the business to give to him. Obviously, he doesn't own the business or anything like that, but he's managed it for us from day one. So, yeah, we knew we were doing a good thing. We were investing back into the country.
Yeah.
We were supporting some locals there. We've never upset the locals in Tangal because they know that we don't take the money out of Sri Lanka. Maybe one day take some money out, hopefully, because we spent a lot. But it really is just a business that grows there. We hire all Sri Lankan staff. We support local businesses. We support local drivers and tuk-tuk tours and people that do laundry and different restaurants. So we've always had a lot of support from Tangal because it's not like we're just two British people that bulldozed our way in and said, we're going to make loads of money and then take it out of the country. That's not what we've done.
Right. So Sri Lanka really is a country that could use a lot of outside help.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a frustrating country because they don't have great trade deals with places. So if you want to buy a washing machine, for instance, it will be made in India, which is one of their neighbours, but it will come via the UK. It's just crazy. So, tourism is something that they could really excel on, and I hope that they pull together as a country and really follow suit. Countries like Thailand, who 97% of their income comes from tourism. Yeah. So it's a beautiful country. They're very liberal. How they've handled a couple of things recently has been really beautiful. I think I think how they handled the sort of terrorism attack last year was really quick and speedy, and I think I hope it gets as much support as possible because it really is a wonderful country. But yeah, it's not built yet it's not built for business. There's silly things which I found quite fascinating. So if you want to get a drink license, it will cost you thousands and thousands of pounds every year. And we couldn't understand it. We were like, I don't understand why this drink license is so expensive. It's a 7-bedroom, little beach place. And then the staff told us, oh, no one gets drink licenses because the fine is only 50 quid, say. And you only get one a year.
Wow.
So they're the sort of things that don't make sense. It's like...
it wouldn't make any financial sense to get a license. Just serve alcohol, get fined, and go on with life.
Exactly. So the country's not set up. Their infrastructure isn't set up to support business or even. I know there's a lot of breaks for investors coming from other countries and stuff. Obviously, that's not our level. So, and we're talking about huge multi-million-pound hotels. I'm sure that you get given visas and tax breaks and all sorts. But, from our experience, it seems a bit, some of it seems a bit backwards at the moment.
Right. And let me ask you something. Going back to the actual purchase of the hotel, was there any way, like in the morning where you woke up, was there any way you could have gotten out of this, or this was set in stone?
I'm sure, I'm sure we could have got out of it. I mean, they didn't know us. They don't know where we're from. I mean, what they're going to do, send lawyers round. I mean, these are a little elderly Sri Lankan couple that own 5 or 6 places that had been rebuilt after the tsunami. So they were, they were a family of land. And this, our place, funny enough, is at risk. If there's another tsunami, we're gone. We are literally on the beach. And we're wooden. So we would be gone. I'm sure if we wanted to escape the country and never deal with it again, we could have. But, as I said, it was 50% panic and 50%, oh, come on then, let's do this. Let's try our hand at this and see what happens. And luckily for us, when I released the story of what happened in a supplement magazine in the UK, part of our biggest tabloid, the story went viral and got picked up all around the world. So we've had guests from literally every country you can think of who have seen our story.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I did some research on the hotel and I looked at the pricing of what it costs per night. It looks like it's about $15 a night for 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
So the question that I would have is, how is it possible to make any money, or is this just a side project that you enjoy doing?
This is a side project that we enjoy doing. I don't think we'll see our full return back.
Really?
No, we won't. We've probably got about 4 or 5 grand in our Sri Lankan bank account, which is when we've had a good month, we'll put a bit of money away. But the investment was about 35 grand in total.
How much? 35,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Pounds.
We paid 15 grand of our own money, and then we paid the rest of it's a leasehold, so it's not that we own the land. We lease the land and own the business. So we got it for a 3-year deal. It was 10 grand a year. We put down 15 grand, and then we paid 15 grand after our first 6 months of business.
Mm-hmm.
So the business first 6 months paid for the next instalment. So we've got rent free, if you like, until 2022, is it? No, next year, next June. So after that, we're going to have to either do a new deal, or we're going to ask to be paid monthly or something like that. So yeah, we won't see our return back, I don't think. But we've had a lot of fun doing it. We've learned a lot, and we've supported a couple of great guys with it. So I'm hoping we can keep it on further than this and try and build back our investment over the next few years.
Right. But why would it make sense for you to run a business that's essentially losing money, even if it's a fun project? It seems like you're really invested in this idea of helping the people of Sri Lanka, because most people would say, you know what, this is a bad deal, I'm leaving.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a bad deal to begin with, because the country was doing really well with tourism, and it had just won holiday destination of the year in Lonely Planet, and it was on the up. But then it had a terrorist attack inside the country that happened. Business crumbled, and obviously with the UK and Brexit, we've got a lot of less tourism coming out of the UK, and the state of the now coronavirus is going to hit, maybe not hit Sri Lanka because it hasn't been hit yet, but people are certainly travelling to Asia a lot less.
Right.
So we've just been hit with a lot of bad run of it all, really. But it wouldn't have been a bad investment. On high season, the room is $50 a night. Well, it's $60 a night, 50 UK pounds.
Oh, so there's room for growth over there.
Yeah, and if we'd had the season that we'd had when we were out there, we would have made a lot of money. We would have probably made our return in the first 6 months. But it just got hit with stuff, and it was just, tourism took a big nosedive in general. So we've had a bit of a bad luck with it.
Rob, you know what? I think there's tremendous potential, and I really hope, that this coronavirus thing will pass. People will get over the fact that there was a huge terrorist attack last year. And your story is amazing. I could understand why people would want to stay at the hotel that was bought when the new owners were drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a really fun place. You know, it's like it's different to every other place that we've experienced in Sri Lanka, and we travelled quite a lot in a month. It's really fun. It's got that sort of Thailand vibe.
Yeah.
We do amazing food, amazing cocktails. You literally wake up and your window is overlooking the beach. So it is. It's an amazing little place to stay and experience. And you know, our guests have a lot of fun there. But if you have a look on our socials, on Instagram, we're at Lucky Beach Tangal. You'll get a vibe of it, and it really is a fun place to stay. And we hope that we can arrange a deal with the landowners and maybe keep it on for another few years and see what happens.
And do you live there, or are you managing this remotely?
We're managing remotely. We were due to go over a bit more, but obviously I fell pregnant and then I fell pregnant again straight after having a baby. So at the moment we've got a newborn and we've got a 15-month-old child, right. And it's all a bit chaotic. I work in television in the UK and my husband works in telecom. So, yeah, we've got our hands full. Hopefully we can get out there soon and see what's cracking. But we send a lot of friends out there, so that's good.
That's nice. And, you know, one of the things that really resonated... Sorry?
If you ever want to go out there yourself, you've got a free trip.
Oh, thank you so much. I definitely, God willing, I will try to take you up on that. I've traveled a ton in my day. I'm currently at my 39th country. So when I do make it over to Sri Lanka, I definitely want to come stay there. And I just love the idea that you guys were so spontaneous and jumped into this. I think it sort of makes me feel very alive, you know, that like people do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and the story's still resonating. We just had a call 2 days ago from the biggest breakfast show in Australia and just did that.
The biggest what?
The biggest radio show in Australia. Mm-hmm. So things are still, you know, still happening and people are still talking about us, which is nice. And we signed a deal with a LA producer last year to try and get this as a US sitcom. That hasn't worked, but it is something I want to develop, and I want to try and get out to Sri Lanka to talk to their sort of film embassy, because I think it would make a really good rom-com feature film. So hopefully one day our story can be on the big screen.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I wish you much success, and I know for sure that, you know, I'm a religious Jew. We believe as Jewish people that everything can change for the better in an instant. So I really hope and believe that very soon things will be wonderful. You'll be able to raise your prices. Perhaps do you have room to extend the hotel?
Yeah, we do at the back. Yeah.
There you go. This could be a big thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, all you need is one. You know, just go viral one time, big time, and it changes your life.
Exactly. And if there's any investors listening that want to make a movie, give them my email address.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. It's lovely talking to you.
Same. Thank you so much, Gina. Be well.
Take care. Bye.
That was Gina Lyons, the now owner of the Lucky Beach Tangal Hotel in Sri Lanka. What a cool story. I don't think it's a good idea to buy anything under the influence of alcohol or make any life-altering decisions when under the influence, but I'm glad that she is happy with her decision. I know business is tough, but I believe that it can and will get better. And you know what? If she's happy with what she's doing, if she feels good, you know, she's supporting poor people in an underdeveloped country. So good for her. Glad that's sort of working out. Obviously, if they were losing a ton of money, they probably would shut the place down, so it's probably not too bad. But again, that's not my business. I am just here to share this interesting story with you. Additionally, if you want to learn more about Gina or the hotel, all that information will be in the show notes, so check that out. Now, regarding future podcasts, there will be many more coming up very soon, another one later this week. I'm going to perhaps try to do, instead of one a week, maybe we'll start doing 2 a week. I know I haven't been doing any, but maybe we'll start doing 2 a week because the demand is there. We have so many listeners from all over the world, so many different countries. Maybe in another episode we'll go through that. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on the iTunes podcast store. The podcast is available on YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, Deezer, Podbean, wherever you listen to your podcasts, we are there. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Please have yourselves an amazing Purim if you are celebrating, and an amazing week. We will see you later. Be well.
You are not a goat. The podcast for you.